So I wanted to talk a bit about the STARS Breakout Analyzer. This is an incredibly complex system. The way it works is I have a Kafka cluster that gets news data put onto it from another AI system that I built, which parses Twitter news, Twitter data real time, and then puts it onto a Kafka cluster, and then I have an LLM pick that up, and then it reviews the tweet or the news article to find out, is this good news, is this bad news for the company that it's talking about. It grabs the ticker out, and then it sends it to this area right here. So when it's big news, it gets added in here. Now we've got up and down. So it depending on if it's good news or bad news, it will tell you whether or not this is going to break out upwards or break out downwards. It then uses a bunch of systems that I built. It's a large number. Bifrost Pipe, which is a C++ server that streams real-time stock data. So actual buy-sell bid asks, not just your regular stock data, but this is actual flowing in and real time. And then this process, Bifrost Pipe, actually turns it into technical analysis. So you get a giant technical analysis JSON along with the stock price data, bid ask, volume, all that good stuff. And then it gets put into the system that will then run it through. It also goes and pulls options data. So it pulls all the options contracts. It checks to see how many calls there are, how many puts they are, where they're at. And it calculates the chances of a breakout. And it gives you a percentage of breakout possibility with tons of supporting evidence and data that can show you exactly why this is going to break out. It even gives you time frames. Usually it's more than a couple days, but there have been times when it predicted a breakout in a matter of hours. And this is a very complex system. This was something that took me a very long time to build. And I built most of it using artificial intelligence systems. A lot of it was used like studying essentially what are all the different types of models that are being used by traders right now. What are all of the other types of systems that have been effective to determine if a breakout is going to work or not. I've dug into things like the Ross recovery algorithm that creates a volatility surface, and then you map the volatility surface. Just so many amazing things that I've learned while building this that give you the ability to predict markets, which is just really cool, and also has helped me understand how to build such complex software using a large language model as an assistant.
All right, so I want to go over the STARS Breakout Analyzer. This is a system I built that is for detecting breakouts via multiple means. This is the UI for my Kafka cluster. And this is where I get a lot of the data for the STARS Breakout Analyzer and a bunch of other tools besides this. So this gets stock ticks and stock quotes, option ticks and option quotes, real-time data provided by a system called Bifrost Pipe, which I built. It's a C++ program, itty bitty tiny footprint, as you can see, and this streams real-time bid ask incoming data, does real-time technical analysis transforms on that data, and then puts it onto the Kafka container or Kafka cluster sub-millisecond. So incredibly fast. It can handle a whole ton of data. And this Kafka cluster, the reason why these are zeros is because I have to set a time limit, a time decay on these, because this gets up to gigabytes in seconds once it starts. And I also have a cap, so it's dropping data off really fast. So we also have this other section in our Kafka cluster, all these Fin News alerts, and this is the one that our STARS Breakout Analyzer uses. So I'm going to show you something over here on the interface. This is the analysis history bar, and you'll see you got all these stocks in here. So these are actually fed into our system from here. These are when a new event happens in the news or on Twitter or various other places. I have various other systems that consume that data, and then it goes through another system that routes all my data in the Kafka cluster that I'm going to go over. It's a cool visualized system. And this essentially goes and pulls, it gets the data inserted in here from that system based upon a bunch of different values. One of those is this WOW score and the WOW confidence. And so this essentially gets news in, and then we get a symbol with that, and that's what gets put onto here. And there's a bunch of checks that get run to make sure that it's okay, and then we're good to go. We get the stock in here, and then we can run it and check it out. So we're going to sort this by highest breakout probability. You're going to see this was run 16 minutes ago. I ran a full run on these. And you can trigger a run by going up here. There's a bunch of different ones, and these are all various levels of depth of scan. But we're going to do a update breakout probabilities fast. And so you'll see these will flash purple as they get scanned. And so we get a fresh update on breakout probabilities, and then we'll check out OKLO here, which still sits at the top. It has been all morning. It's 1:28 a.m. here in Colorado. And OKLO, so if we wanted to know what's that, we can click on this and we get the news and about the company. So this is a fission power plant company, so great for AI. And so they've been blowing up like 136. I think they were $17 in April. So if we go down here, we can see, these Fibonacci levels are actually relatively understandable. We've got a 73-week range. If we go up here, I'll go over some of these settings here. So we have an advanced ML model setting. We're not going to be using those this time. I'm going to be doing another video on how all these work, but that's CAPM analysis, FAMA-FINCH 3-factor, things like that. But we're actually going to go in here, and we're running balanced. So that's what we're going to stick with. But you can change, you can go through here and you can change patterns and consolidations, or you can just use some of the presets. So if we look through here, we've got all these great bullish drivers, very high confidence for a breakout. The entry and the targets, so 139 entry and a target of 140 to 145. We've got this detailed narrative I'm going to be working on and making better, but right now it doesn't have enough data coverage, and I am going to be adding more data to make this a full narrative about how this stock is doing. So here we've got our dip detection. We just looked at those. And then we check out our options informed trading levels. We've got our bullish signals, an entry level, our target levels, and our stop losses. And these are all based off of options that I'll show you the contracts below. And then we've got our gamma walls, 135, 130, and 140 to 143. We've got our technical analysis. This goes live when we get live streaming from our Kafka cluster. And the same thing goes for like these price levels. These are a lot more interesting when we have live data streaming, and I'll be doing a live data streaming version of this as well for like day trading. So you can check out the options flow. You've got a 1.7 to 1 call put ratio. That's pretty good. I've seen some insanely good ones though before. And you will be able to change these values, like how many days back, how many weeks back is it going to be pulling contracts, how forward are we doing it. Right now this is very conservative, but you can tweak it to pull everything if you want, and it's just a lot of data. It takes a lot longer to run. But if you're doing options, this is really useful. This is great though to get a great overview. These settings are supposed to be for getting, and I'm tweaking them as I go to find the absolute best default options for these. So then we've got our monitoring setup. This volume breakout analysis, by the way, this is for live. So this is whenever we have streaming data coming in, you can actually watch once it hits a breakout. So this is really cool. And then we've got our entry level at 136.30, and we can go through here and create an enhanced alert or a basic alert. These both actually require Kafka to be streaming data. So this is something that you can do during trading hours, setting alerts and stuff. But I'm actually going to be turning these requirements off, probably, so that it's just, you can create a both system streaming Kafka. It just won't work until the market's open. And it gets better data for a streaming alert to tell you where that streaming alert should be set for when we actually have data. So, but we've got a 60% breakout probability within 8 days, according to the system. And these are your supports. So if we go up here to the alerts, you can see we've got alerts on various stocks in here. We've got one that actually hit. So if we go to the notifications, we've got TSM reached profit target, and various alerts as well. You can sort by performance, by volume, or by created. And, you can actually go in here. You can modify this so it's hybrid, live, and rest, for example. And then save changes. And then once we go live, it'll swap from this polar to a live rest config. But it's nighttime right now, so this is off. So these all come in streaming, so you can see all their prices. And then we actually have, this is great for live as well, a volume analysis. This is actually polling right now, but when you've got live data, it streams every single alerts data in. I'm working on the enhanced alerts visualization area. And once I'm done, this is going to have the ability to set enhanced alerts on all of these data points. And then here's our technical analysis area, and this is also for streaming data. So I'll be doing a streaming data version of this, but there's so much to the system that that'll just be a whole nother video too. So that is basically how the system works. Like I said, there's a lot more that goes into it, and all of the supporting systems, large language models. I've fine-tuned many models for this system, and I'll be doing more videos, and check them out.